Now, we don't have a mastering EQ plugin, but what you can do is you can use something like this.
Bypass.
Basically what we did was we just went in and I grabbed a drum kit and I said, well, let's try the overhead, see what it does. It just gave, it's not designed to be a mastering EQ. It was just to see if we could give it a little bit of brightness and stuff. Once again, experimentation is the name of the bloody game. Lovely. Let's go to the next one. So the next band, are playing in town tonight. Anybody here at the Pixies?
Yeah.
All right. You know they're playing in town tonight, right? Oh, well, you're all invited.
Brixton Academy, 9 p.m.
There you go. Our friends. Now, it's not the Pixies. It's two geezers from the Pixies. The drummer, Dave, and Joey Santiago, the guitar player. And basically it's a project, a side project of theirs. And I set them up in their rehearsal space in LA in a room probably half the size of this room and probably a slightly less ceiling. I mean, it was very small. And the drums are set up there. They had a nice, he did have one thing going for him, Joey. He had a nice little control separate from that. But that was it. And tons of waves plugins and a little 8-channel console. And so I went in there with my mics and some other preamps and stuff, and I set it all up for them and let them have at it. I got the sounds for them, and then I had to leave for another project. But Joey's very smart about recording this stuff, and this is all of the drum tracks because we can. And would you like to explain why?
Yeah, sure. We just tried to think a little outside the box on this one and wanted to see what happens if we put all the drums through one submix and have just Eddie Kramer plug in, you know, to sort of showcase what you can do if you have a low power computer. You can't put one on every individual drum track.
Right. Doing for us. Now I picked the room setting because I was screwing around with it and trying to figure out which one I like, but let's go to the overhead setting and see what do from the same spot. Go to the room. I mean, it's just a matter of personal taste, a little bit more aggressive once again because of what I've done in the preset. Use it as your starting off point, and away you go. All right, what do we have? Oh yes, well, Mr. Santiago in his inimitable style loves to put layers of guitars on, and once again, if you're short of plugins, we can do amazing things with 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many bloody guitar tracks. It's got a bunch of them. There's 6 bloody guitar tracks with one plugin. Let's just see what we get. I mean, it's pretty dead simple what we're we're doing. A roll of a bit of mids, roll of a touch of treble. There's very little effect on it. There is some compression, definitely. And that's a general sort of good overall setting for that particular bank of guitars, I felt. Let's go to, oh, I know where we're going. Bendy. It's the bendy guitar.
Before we go on to that very quickly, sorry, I'd just like to say thank you very much to Shahar as well. And actually the real person that set this up today, because I was otherwise engaged, Bryn at Sonic Distribution. Thank you, Bryn, for Room, of course, for the venue, and for you for coming. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you again very briefly at the end, but in the meantime, a bit of Q&A. Thank you.
Yeah. He's talking business. He's talking about discounts for all you lot. 100%. Oh, it's free. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's the wrong gig. Sorry.
I wasn't going to do the dirty bit until the end, but you know.
Right. Okay. If you have any questions, like I said, just leave my private life out of it, and you're welcome. Sir, yes.
Compression on your plugins. By the way, great plugins. But how is it when you raise the compression on one of your plugins? What does it adjust? Peak reduction? How do you go about the?
You know, you could actually be the same guy who was in Berlin, Copenhagen, New York, Nashville, Seattle, and go on and on. There's always going to be somebody asking those exact questions. We have a prepared answer. One is, if I tell you, I'm going to have to kill me and you, and that's going to be bad news. Right? In the meantime, Shakar is going to tell you at least what we think we've got going on.
Yeah, I mean, what I can tell you is that I can't really tell you, but what we have is actually in each one of these plugins, there's a different compressor, and a couple of them more than one compressor, and there are certain things that are linked, right? So that when you increase the compression, on some of them, it'll increase the ratio. On some of them, it'll drive the input a little bit. It really depends on which plugins Eddie wanted to use on that specific. And this specific application plugin.
So that compression on this plug is just basically to add something, not to
exactly. The whole idea is more or less, right? We want to give you a starting point for this sound. If this is the sound that you're going for, it's the sound that Eddie gets, then that's what you get. You get a little more of it, a little less of it, and that's the idea.
I have to be Eddie Springer.
Hello. Well, I know you've done lots of modelling of different types of manufacturers. Are there any specific ones that have got the PSP pros?
In here? Several of those, basically. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't tell you which plugins are behind these, but it's several of our modeled plugins are definitely behind here.
I mean, I was very lucky when we were doing this. I had full access to anything and everything that Waves makes. And
basically, we used our whole arsenal of plugins, which is about 150 plugins, so there's a lot at our disposal. The only times we really reached outside of that was we used Q-Clone a couple of times to capture some outboard hardware EQ that Eddie likes. I think we used IR1, we captured a sweep of a couple of plate reverbs that he likes, things of that sort, but otherwise it's always plugins behind here. But you should know it is the full plugins, there's no compromises, and if you were to try to get the same plugins that make up this bundle, you'd have to spend many thousands of dollars.
$100,000, mate.
$1 billion. Yeah.
$1 million. All right. Yeah, 600. Right.